What's going on, guys? So I just replaced my brakes and I'm about to do the other side, but I figured I would make a video on how to replace the rotor and just more focus on that. So here is the other side I'm about to work on, and I'm just kind of going to focus more on how to replace the rotor. With this rotor, I'm not going to put a brand new one on. I am going to just take it somewhere and get it turned, resurfaced, and put it back on. So I'm going to get started. Alright, so same thing when replacing brakes. I just turned the wheel to basically get a little bit more of a better angle to start removing everything. And I'm going to kind of get started and show you the best way to do that. Alright, so in order to get to the rotor, you need to take off the caliper with the brakes. So you're going to have two bolts that is holding the caliper in place, and you want to remove that. There is two dust covers that is holding covering the screw, so you want to go ahead and pop that off and then get the other one as well. And then you're going to use a hex, which is a 7mm, to remove those bolts. So let me go ahead and remove these and I'll be right back. Alright, once you remove the screws, you want to take this off right here, and just with this flathead you can just easily pop it off, and that's it. Now that you have that off, you can take off the caliper. A lot of people will hang it somewhere on the side. I just kind of grab a bucket and we'll just kind of lay it on. So we're almost basically done. The next step I'm going to show you right now. So really quick, what I'm going to do is you need to remove two bolts that's holding, I'm not sure what this is called, I forget, but you need to remove this to get to the caliper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray some WD-40 on those bolts, because they are kind of hard to remove since they've been on there for so long. I'm going to leave it on there for a few minutes and they should pop off right off. Alright, so another tool that is really helpful is going to be a breaker bar. That way it just helps you get these untightened easily. So there's one, and I may not be able to get to the other one. Let me get the other one first. Alright. So I think this is why a lot of people put the caliper like on a bungee cord, so they have more room. But I just had to move it. I'm gonna hit the camera. Okay. So now I can easily take these off. I'm not going to show this part because it's kind of pointless, but I'll be right back. Alright, so once you remove the bolts, this will pop off, and then you can remove the rotor. This one came out really easy. If for whatever reason, if it doesn't want to pop off, if you just use a mallet, like maybe just tap it on the front or even on the back, it'll loosen it, and then you can pop it off. So I'll be right back on how to put everything back on, and then we'll be finished. Really quick, just focus on the rotor itself, how it looks, because when I get back, it is going to look completely different, brand new. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I went and I got the rotor turned, so this is how it looks. It's all nice and surfaced. Now we just got to put it back on. And now we're just going to reverse the steps that we did. So grab your caliper mount, and you're going to start by putting that back on first. All right, let me tighten everything. I don't want to bore you with this. Let me tighten it and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, so now that I got the caliper mount on, I got to put the caliper back. So I'm going to replace the brakes. I'm going to try and either post the link on how to replace the brakes on top or possibly in the description. But I'm going to replace the brakes really quick and then I'll get right back so we can put the caliper back on, because there's some other steps you got to do. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, sometimes when you replace, when you get the rotors turned, when they turn them, sometimes they pull like an oil on the rotor so it doesn't like rust or like get whatever you want to call it. So typically what I do is just with some brake cleaner. I typically do it when it's off, but since I already put everything back, just spray it down. And then just kind of give it a quick wipe. That way if there is any like oils or anything like that, it doesn't really like do anything to the rotor, so it doesn't like squeak or doesn't cause anything like that. Alright, so I already got the new brakes on. Don't forget to clean the pins as well. Same thing, just with some brake cleaner. I'm going to clean those and then we'll start putting the caliper back on. The other thing too is when you apply the brake lubrication on your brakes, on the hooks, apply some on here. That way when the caliper moves, it moves easily back and forth. Alright, once you're done with everything, you can go ahead and reapply the caliper back on. And luckily with this, it'll just sit there, so you can grab the other parts so you can go ahead and tighten them. Alright, let me get these tightened and then I'll be right back. Alright, so a few last steps. Just go ahead and get your dust covers and re-put them back in. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn the wheel so I can put the tire back on, and then we'll basically be done. Alright, so final step is we are going to torque the tires to about 90 pounds. Really quick, I just lowered the car so it's no longer on these stands, but while it's in the air and you put the tire on, you want to hand tie in the lug nuts as much as you can. That way the wheel doesn't really move, and then lower the car. Once you do that, then you want to fully torque it to about that 90 pounds. So, and what you want to do is you want to go in a star pattern. So it doesn't put too much, you know, I guess pressure or force on the lug nut thread itself. And you'll hear a click. Let's see if you can hear it. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, 5, and you are done. That is it. Alright guys, and that about does it. Really easy to replace the rotors if you need to. Like I said, since I was replacing my brakes, I didn't want to spend, like, I think it's like $50 to like $80 on rotors a pair. I just got them turned. It only cost me 15 bucks each versus 50, like I said, 60 to 80 bucks. So I saved about $90. The next time I replace the brakes, or if I need to replace the rotors, I will have to get new ones. But definitely getting them turned is a good option. Saves you money and it still looks good. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try and help as much as I can. I will link everything that I used, kind of the order how I did it. And again, if this video helped, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.